Good evening. Good evening. We are beginning our service, and it may be time to turn the volume down just a little bit. We'll begin with the Shalom Aleichem in the Siddur. We do have song sheets for those who are not so familiar. We have song sheets on the rear table, and please come on in, help yourselves, have a seat. We'll begin with the Siddur, and then song sheets interspersed throughout the service. The Shalom Aleichem is on page number 5, page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShoret, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, malachei ha-shalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, malachei ha-shalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malachei ha-shalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The early part of the Friday evening service is devoted to song. We're supposed to sing and get warmed up. And so prior to some of the more formal elements within the service, we have a melody. It's called a nigun. And you'll catch on as David plays this melody. It's called a nigun. And now in the Siddur on page number 11, in the Siddur on page 11, And as I reminded you, we do have some song sheets, and we will be interspersing song sheets within the service. But for now, page number 11, the beginning of the service. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim, asher biyado mecharei haaretz, v'toafot harim lo, asher biyado mecharei haaretz, v'toafot harim lo. On the left side of page 11, in the left margin, entitled Pilgrimage Aloud. We may understand their days to be a pilgrimage in time, from the 6 days of the work week to the experience of a day of rest, holy time. The generation that left Egypt and wandered in the wilderness never reached their destination, the place of God's rest. But every Friday evening, we have the opportunity to make the journey anew, this time with an openness that will enable us to truly enter the land and come close to the divine. Arba'im shanukut v'dor b'amarm to'e levavhem v'hem lo'edu drachai asher nishbati v'yapi im yavun el menuchati. On page number 14 on the English side, bow to Adonai in the glory of this holy place. Tremble before God's presence, all who dwell on earth. Announce among the nations, Adonai reigns. The land is firm and will not be moved. Peoples will be truthfully judged. The heavens shall be glad, and the earth rejoice. The sea and its fullness roar. The meadows and all that grows in them exult. Even the trees of the forest shall sing praise, as Adonai comes to judge the earth, judging lands with righteousness and peoples with divine truth. Heaven, earth, land, meadows, forest, people, and truth. There's a wholeness here. We're part of a greater reality, and truth is as much a part of this reality. Honor and justice and devotion are as much a part of this reality as the atmosphere and gravity. Heaven and earth, and we find our place within by living a life of truth and honor. We have a song sheet tonight. We have a few, and this one begins with "Not Sure Where, Not Sure How." There's no title on it, but that's the song will begin in just a moment. Not sure where, not sure how. The theme is heaven and earth touch.
I'm not sure where, I'm not sure how. Maybe later, maybe now, but somewhere heaven and earth touch. Perhaps it's only in a dream, never to be found or be seen, but somewhere heaven and earth touch. I stop and look for miracles of better things to come. Perhaps I'm just too close to see the miracle is you and me. I want to believe in a better day. I want to believe. I want to believe believe in a better way. And I want to believe that heaven and earth touch someday. In every laugh, in every tear, in every joy, in every fear, somewhere, heaven and earth touch. In every light of every day, in everything, in every way, somewhere, heaven and earth touch. We stop and look for miracles, for better things to come. Perhaps we are too close to see the miracle is you and me. I want to believe in a better day. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe in a better way. And I want to believe heaven and earth touch someplace. We look, but do we see? We listen, but do we hear? We touch, but do we feel? The signs are there, they are real. We stop and look for miracles, for better things to come. Perhaps we are too close to see the miracle is you and me. I want to believe in a better day. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe in a better way. I want to believe that heaven and earth touch someday. That heaven and earth touch someday. Heaven and earth touch someday. Heaven and earth touch someday. Heaven and earth touch someday.
Turning to page 21, please, in the Siddur, page 21, a psalm. As I said, the preliminary service on Friday evening is psalms, poems from the Bible, to put us in a certain mood, to prepare us for the main part of the service, which is the Baruch Hu, the Shema, and the Amidah. This Mizmor David stands out because the term Kol Adonai, the voice of God, appears 7 times. And when we think about Friday night and Saturday morning, we think about Shabbat, Shabbos, the number 7 stands out. And that's probably why this psalm was presented here to lead into the Lel Chadodi, a very well-known song, introducing us to Shabbat herself. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai Pnei Elim, Havu Ladonai Kavod Va'oz, Havu Ladonai Kavod Shemo, Hishtachavu Ladonai B'Hadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Al Hamoyim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai Al Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Ba'koach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, v'shaber Adonai et arzeh halbanon, v'yarkidem kmo egel, Lebanon v'Sirion kmo v'nre'emim, kol Adonai chotze lahavot esh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yechol el ayalot, vayechasof ye'arot, uvechalo kolo amer kavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech le'olam, Adonai oz li'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. And on page 23, the opening two stanzas, page 25, the concluding two stanzas of L'Chadodi. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'litila. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat l'chuven elcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Yamin, yamin osmal tiferotzi, v'yet Adonai ta'aritzi, al yarish ben partzi, v'nismecha v'nagila. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala, toch emunei am sgula, boi chala, boi chala. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nikabela. And we were seated, and before the psalm for Shabbat, another song, and the title of this is Lev Belev, or Lev Belev, which means heart within heart, or heart attached to heart, Lev Belev, and then in a moment, the Mizmor for Shabbat.
So very far away, and in spending time with you, I realize God is in our love, fueling the fire of our lives from day to day. Lev belev, heart and heart, where my hand stops, your hand stops. In a circle of love that has no end. Lev so I'll keep you close to me. Lev b'lev. When we listen for God's voice, we think we'll hear it loud and clear, like a giant clap of thunder from the sky. But in singing songs with you, it is the most attentive ear knows that God dwells between the words for us to find. Lev b'lev, heart and heart, where my hand stops, your hand starts, in a circle of love that has no end. Lev b'lev, heart and heart, God's been with us from the start. In this complicated world, you'll need a friend, and so I'll keep you close to me. Lev b'lev. When we yearn for God's touch, we hope all pain will go away. In an instant, in a moment, be renewed. But as we work together toward that sacred, peaceful day, we learn that God heals each of us through me and you. Lev b'lev, heart and heart, where my hand stops, your hand starts, in a circle of love that has no end. Lev b'lev, heart and heart, God's been with us from the start. In this complicated world, you'll need a friend, so I'll keep you close to me. God will be with us as together we will stay. Lev b'lev.
And now in the Siddur, page number 27 on the English side. The English, page 27. This is a Jewish reminder. It's good to say thank you. That's how the psalm begins. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name most high, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. Finger the lute, pluck the harp, let the sound of the lyre rise up. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. How wonderful are your works, Adonai, how subtle your designs. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms, only to be destroyed forever. But you, Adonai, are exalted for all time. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As a wild bull raises up its horn, you raised my head high, anointed it with fresh oil. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in our God's courtyards. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming, Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no flaw. Please rise to Borchu, the official introduction to the evening service, page 39b, the Borchu, page 39b. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam v'ed. We are seated, the first bracha of the evening service on the English side. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, you completed your work of creation on the seventh day, calling this day, from one evening to the next, the holy Shabbat, and gave this day of rest in all its holiness to your people Israel, creator of day and night, ruling light before darkness and darkness from light, marking day past and bringing on the evening, distinguishing day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. El chai v'kayom, tamidim lo chalen olam v'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. On page 40, the second bracha of the evening service speaks of love. The first bracha of the evening service speaks of day and night cycles of time. Every night of the year, if those are so inclined, and we open the prayer book, we have these exact same two blessings. Not just Shabbat, every night of the year. The first blessing, pause and look at the transition between day and night. The second blessing, remind us that we are connected by love between ourselves, each other, the community, and to God. Love and community are as much a part of the universe as day and night. And that's where we get ready for the Shema. The second blessing on page 40. With timeless love, you've loved your people, the house of Israel. You've taught us Torah and mitzvot, statutes and laws. Therefore, Adonai, our God, as we lie down and as we rise up, we shall speak of your laws, rejoicing in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever and ever. For they are our life and the fullness of our days, and on them we shall meditate day and night. Do not ever withdraw your love from us. Baruch atah Adonai, who loves the people Israel. V'avatachal tasir mimenu l'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Penelope, Simon, will you come forward for a minute, please? I want to brag because I can. So, Penelope and Simon stood on this bima, difficult to believe, a year ago, anticipating their B'nai Mitzvah a few months later, which was April 1st, 2nd, right? Yes. I remember that date. And just a reminder for some of us, you're Billy and Marilyn's great-grandchildren, right? Did I get them right? Great, okay. I want to make sure, as I get older, I lose track of the generations. And I got a lump in my throat to think about Billy's and Marilyn's great-grandkids on this bima, both a year ago and obviously now. and beautifully leading a B'nai Mitzvah service up in Tuscaloosa. And all this, of course, dovetails with and within the LaBelle Family Reunion, which, as I get older, becomes more and more meaningful to me every year. And which year are we in right now for the reunion? Which number are we on? 60. Going, 60 or 60, 60 or 61? Between 60 and 61? Approximately between 60 and 61. Okay. So, to have 6 decades here connected to Harris and Annie is just outstanding, exceptional. And to see the family come back year in and year out with love and remembrance and loyalty and devotion is an enormous lesson for all of us. And those who are not here are missing out. Okay, enough talking, time for Shema. Shema, we're on page 41. Yes, Baruch Shem Kavod Maod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed Ve'avta Et Adonai Elohecha Be'chol levavcha U'v'chol nafshecha U'v'chol me'odecha Ve'hayu Hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Yom Al Levavecha V'shinantam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam V'shivtecha B'beitecha U'v'lektecha V'derech U'v'shokpecha V'kumecha U'kishartam La'ot Al Yadecha V'hayu Letotafot B'neinecha U'ktavtam Al Mezuzot Beitecha U'v'sharecha. Thank you, guys. A few moments of silence on page number 42. Adonai Elohechem emet. On page 44. Fourth line down. Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratilot osef ele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokeh yam lifnei Moshe, Ze'elionu v'yamru, Adonai imlo baruch la'olam va'ed v'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ugalo mi'ad chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai ga'al Yisrael. We need to stop for just a moment and look at the Milchamocha. And you see the English translation, who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty, that little stanza of 3 lines. In tomorrow's Torah reading, we have the Milchamocha. It's excerpted from tomorrow's Torah reading, and it comes into both the morning service and the evening service. And the other parts, the V'ne'emar, or morning tzur, Yisrael, Kumu Yisrael, right? Okay, those are not in the Torah, but the one-line Milchamocha is in the Torah reading tomorrow. Tomorrow is the great song. Pharaoh's army has been swallowed up by the sea, and the people of Israel turn back with relief, and they begin to sing. And it's about 20 sentences long. It's called the Az-Yashir, the Song of the Sea. But the one line that probably captured our ancestors 2,000 years ago is the Milchamocha. And it comes out of what we call Exodus chapter number 15, and comes into the Siddur every night of the year and every morning of the year, just a little bit before the Amidah. Milchamocha means, who else could be like you, O God? Rhetorically, no one, nothing. Side note, one of our favorite Hebrew names, Michael or Michael, has that same intro. Micha is like, who is like. El is God. Michael, who else could be like God? Parentheses answer, no one, nothing. So with that, all that in mind, with the leadership of Miriam and Moses at the fore, and having just quoted them from 3,000 years ago, we turn to the song sheet, Miriam's song. It's on the song sheet before us, Miriam's song and David. Miriam's song, please.
Timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long.
Just imagine being there. Just imagine being there. That's what the Milchamocha is all about, for us to be suspended in our own reality and imagining that we are right there with Miriam. God bless. On page 45, it's the certainty of this song, of this dance. Look at the last little stanza. It's on page 45 on the English side. It's the conclusion of the Hashkivenu. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. The top of 46. V'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. V'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. B'nei uven b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz, v'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'vei b'chayechon v'yom echon, u'b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala, ba'gala, u'v'zman kariv, v'amen, yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach, la'olam me olmaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitramah, v'yinaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha, brechu, leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, da'amiran b'olma, v'yimeru. Amen. We rise now the Silent Amida. The traditional text is before us from pages 47 through 52, or you might devise your own silent, private, personal prayer or reflection at this time. A few moments of silence. There is no lack of news touching on anti-Semitism. You and I look at the briefings on the computer, video updates. For those of us who still live in towns where there are newspapers, all those are disappearing soon. Updates on our phones, emails and texts. It's all around us. Side note, again, I'm sure that Marilyn and Billy are just ecstatic that we've got Lisa, the director of the Hillel at Alabama. What an absolute joy. Hear, hear. What an absolute joy. And Harris and Annie somewhere as well. Absolutely. And Lisa shared with me, and I'm sure you've heard lately, of some very distressing events. Last week there was a chalking episode of some graffiti on certain locations at Alabama. And we've all learned the word epidemic. We've all learned virus. We've all learned the word pandemic. There was chalking just a few days ago at the University of Florida. If you look around, if you don't even pause and look, you see evidence of antagonism and hostility. And we all need to be aware and cautious and protective. But I want to talk not only about the distressing elements of anti-Semitism, I want to talk about the positives in the world in which we live today. And you see before us this equipment. And for those of you who are not familiar with what's going on, give me a minute to explain. For the past 22 years, the Mobile Area Jewish Federation has sponsored a film festival, and it's grown over the years. And we have now, through the work of a lot of volunteers, literally multiple hundreds of people, the large majority of whom are not Jewish, coming to films spanning a week, week and a half. You wouldn't expect to have hundreds of Christians coming to the synagogue, the temple, a large downtown library, 3 locations of venues related to the University of South Alabama, in Mobile, Alabama, and have literally over a span of a couple weeks, maybe 1,000 or more attendees, the large majority of whom are not Jewish, year in and year out, even during COVID, signing it online and watching the films and supporting the program virtually says a lot. I think it says a great deal about the regard in which we are held here in Alabama. A subset of the film festival is something that's exceptionally powerful, and we owe a debt of gratitude to Ricky and to others who have organized this, because for 20 years, we've had multiple hundreds of middle school and high school students watching a film in some way related to the Holocaust and having classes about the Holocaust. And depending upon the season and the year, sometimes the students come to the synagogue, sometimes they watch the films in their own campus facilities. This year we had a small turnout here at the synagogue. We only had 3 showings of student films about the Holocaust. Middle school kids, we only had 300 kids in the building, which for us is a small turnout. In some years, we have as many as 1,000 students of middle school ages watching Holocaust films, but some this year, because of preferences of the administrations, chose to watch the films in their own campuses. And separate from and over and above having hundreds of middle school students and high school students participating in these films are also the classwork lessons and materials presented beforehand and afterwards in public and private school settings. Going on for 20 years in Mobile, Alabama. And that again gives me room to lift up my spirit and to say there is a great deal of care and respect and honor and love in our community. Otherwise, these kinds of programs would not be received, appreciated, and supported. Last night, we had a program sponsored by the Mobile Christian Jewish Dialogue, which is among the oldest dialogue programs in the entire country. Who would have thunk that a dialogue organized to bring Jews and Christians together, one of the first ever, originated in Mobile, and has been going strong for, Larry, how many years?
30 plus.
40 plus, because Mary and Paul. So 40 plus years. Early 70s. So we're approaching the 50-year mark. We're approaching the 50-year mark. And when Larry and Ricky go to national meetings and they introduce themselves as being from Mobile, people say, "We know you, Mobile." Mobile's nationally famous for Christian Jewish dialogue work. And last night there was a program which was the third of its kind. We did the first one about 6-7 years ago. Maybe longer, maybe 8, and the second one was about 4 years ago. And the third was last night. And a pastor, who's a friend of mine, and I stepped up to the pulpit, to the stand, you might say, and each one spoke of people who made a difference or had an impression upon his life. I spoke of 3 Christians. He spoke of 3 Jews. And last night's gathering, we had perhaps 100 people. And to have 100 people come on a weeknight when it was starting to get rainy and gray and a little bit uncomfortable, to listen to a rabbi and Episcopalian priest speak, tells yet again a very important story. We need to appreciate that living as citizens, living as friends, participating as neighbors within a community, we have friends and friendships. And as distressing and upsetting as the revealed news of anti-Semitism is, we also have to concentrate on the good that is in our world because of who we are, because of how we live, because of the give and take between ourselves and our neighbors and our friends and our relatives and our coworkers and our associates and so on and so forth. And the and that comes from living in a community, caring about a community, and contributing to a community. We need to marshal the positive as well as attending to the negative. We need to appreciate what we accomplish by our lives, by our energy, by our activism in the everyday. So when you walk into this room and you see equipment set up, because we just had a film yesterday for students Thursday, and we're having a film on Sunday to conclude the film series for the adult program. You realize how much light is coming into the world. Let's look for the light. Let's support the light. Let's contribute to the light. And we all say, Amen. Please rise the Aleinu in the Siddur on page number 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shelo asanuk goye haratzot velo samanu kimishpachot adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim v'yosei haaretz Umoshav Yekaro Bashamayim Mimal Ushchinatu Zo Begov He Miromim Hu Eloheinu Enod Emed Malkeinu Efes Zulato Kakatu Bitorato Vyadata Hayom Vashevota Levavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bashamayim Mimal V'al Haaretz Mitachat Enod Kakatu b'Toratecha Adonai yimloch la'olam v'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shema echad. In a moment, the mourner's Kaddish on page 58. And again, the strength and the love and the power of the LaBelle family is that the family comes and recites Kaddish, thinking of Harris and Annie, remembering Harris and Annie, and there are other members of the family as well. And of course, the family is encouraged to stand in a moment. On this Shabbat, as a shul we remember with great love, Dora Briskman, Ida Seidel, Jack Enton, Jacob Weinstein, Leon Gross, Rebecca F. Seidel, Alice Morningstar, Harry Rosen, Herman Silver, Julius Alvin Arian, Leah Silverstein, Paula Lubell. Who is Paula Lubell? Zusman's wife. So was he one of the 9?
He was one of the 9.
Okay. And remembering Harris and Annie. Are there any other names to mention this evening? Those inclined to stand, everybody to stand for Kaddish on page number 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba. Amen. Be'olma divara chir ute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'yizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach lo'alam olmei olmaya. Yitborach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei, dekudesha, b'rechu, le'ela, min kol, birchata, v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'olma, v'imeru, amen. Yehei Shalama Rabba Amin Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imeru Amen. Al Kol Yisrael. Every time I say it and hear it, it's loud in my ears and in my heart. It means for all of Israel. When people are saying a Kaddish, not only are they remembering their own loved ones, but they're also sending a prayer of shalom through God to everybody else. And everybody else is saying Amen, which means in a way, those who are not saying Kaddish are saying, we need peace from those who are grieving. What a powerful message that is. Those who are not saying Kaddish recognize that those who are grieving or mourning have a message of peace to share. How humbling that is. How tender and respectful that is. Couple of reminders, and then we'll conclude with the last song sheet in just a moment. We'll be making Kiddush after we finish the service right here in the back of the room. And of course, Lubell family, we're excited that you're here. It's always exciting to have the Lubells here. And I know you've got all kinds of exciting festivities planned. And Lubell family participates in services tomorrow morning. And Sunday morning, the Lubell family gathers at the cemetery at 8:30 for a brief visit, which is ever more significant as the years go by. And shkoyach, truly shkoyach. Zoom Havdalah tomorrow night is at 7 on Zoom. People in the show know about what I'm talking about. I think that's it for right now. And film festival, are people still able to get tickets at the door for the film Sunday, February 2nd at February 5th at 2 p.m., Sunday, February 5th at 2 p.m. The film festival is concluding. It's The Man in the Basement. Is that the title? The Man in the Basement. Looks really good. So I hope people join us. And again, thanks to the Mobile Area Jewish Film Festival Committee for making this happen. We'll conclude, as I said, with the song on the song sheet. One small step. The play here is, in case you don't remember your midrash, as the people of Israel are standing at the edge of the water, they're looking at the water, like, well, what do we do now? Because there's the army behind us and the water's in front of us, and what do we do? And there's a commentary, a midrash, that says that a man named Nachshon was willing to step into the water to show that he believed there was a reason they'd gotten out of Egypt, not to just drown. You have to take a risk. The song, One Small Step.
Was just one face in the crowd. He was tired and he was hungry, scared but he was proud. He had walked across the desert to escape slavery, and now he's caught between his taskmasters, the waters of the Red Sea. Pharaoh and his armies were coming up fast from behind, and the Israelites were arguing. They were of two minds. Some said we should turn around, go back to what we know. Slavery can't be half as bad. gotta take one small step for freedom. One small step, you gotta take one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step. One small step, you gotta take one small step for freedom. The other side, well, they were very few, so no, this cannot be. We can't go back, we've come so far in fleeing slavery. If you just stay put, I think you'll find that God will make a move, and a miracle will save us all. Just wait. You gotta take one small step for freedom. One small step. You gotta take one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step. One small step, you gotta take one small step for freedom. No one noticed Nachshon over by the rippling tide. He had one foot in the water, his shoes at his side. He took one step, then another, till he barely could breathe. And just when the world went dark, the waters parted, and we were free. 'Cause he took one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step for freedom. One small step for freedom.
Good Shabbos. Thanks for joining in. Looking forward to seeing you at some point in the near future in person. May God bless you. Know that you are very important to us. We love you and want the best for you. Until we see each other, good Shabbos, Leitra.